How's everybody doing? My name is Augie with VIP Playlist. I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Adam, what's up, guys?
and today we have probably, man, I don't even know, one of the most diverse vocalists in the scene, Andy Cizek.
Heyo, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
man, there's been a bunch of bands that have kind of mentioned your name on these playlists and everything. And the first thing that I say, and it's true, is I listened to Wander and Makari for like 6 months before I realized you were the vocalist of both of them.
Yeah, dude, I've gotten that a time or two.
And then when I found out Monuments and then the Termina stuff, I was like blown away, man. Just the range in your voice is insane, man.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we are going to build a playlist today, some of your favorite music, everything like that. First question I like to ask, man, is there anything you want to name this?
Let's call it Andy's Metal Montage.
Wonderful.
That's good, man. I love that.
I like the alliteration, Metal
Mhm.
Montage.
Yeah. Now we kind of do this in a little bit of an order, but we did do a little studying here, and I listened to your interview with Lead Singer Syndrome.
Oh, sick. That
Yeah,
was a
very,
great one.
very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. It's awesome. I mean, Shane Told, that's a legend.
I know,
So,
dude. I was
Mhm.
I was like starstruck and
Yeah, how dope is that?
yeah,
right?
and he's such a cool guy to talk to. So it was
Yeah,
surprisingly comfortable.
that's awesome, man. One of the songs that I did hear you mention on here that I think has to be like the first song on here is "Smoke on the Water," man.
Yeah, that was the first song I ever I guess learned on guitar. I feel like that's most people's Guitar Center song. So
Mhm.
yeah, my
Yeah,
dad gave me a Fender Squire when I was 11, and he was like, "Here, play this riff," and he showed it to me, and I just practiced it for like a week, and yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
so your parents were kind of supportive in this career
Yeah, yeah,
path.
they always have been. My dad is a rock musician as well, and he's been playing guitar and singing for his whole life. So I already had that foundation of influence, and he
Yeah.
was
How
always hanging out playing his rock records.
how
So
old were you when you got that guitar and kind of learned that song and
well, I
everything?
was 11 when I got my first guitar, but
Awesome.
I definitely was brought up around rock and roll ever since
Hmm.
I was born.
Okay.
So other than Smoke on the Water, is there any songs that you kind of remember your dad showing you that maybe you still kind of revisit today?
Oh yeah, of course. Pretty much the whole album 2112 by Rush.
Oh God,
Uh
Rush
that
is
one was
just
really cemented. Yeah, I love that album. And then well, All the World's a Stage was their live record. He gave that to me on cassette. So that was like my first classic rock cassette. And then there's also Led Zeppelin. He would play a lot of Led Zeppelin live VHSs in the house. So like Kashmir was one of my favorites, or Immigrant Song. Stairway to Heaven, of course.
yeah.
Right on.
Let's get a Rush song on here, man.
Yeah, man, this is tough. Bastille Day. Let's go with that. That's kind of a lesser known deep cut. Bastille Day. That's Bastille Day.
Yeah, okay. Deep cut on here, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man. That
then
I love that song though. It's fucking awesome.
Zeppelin.
Let's go with Kashmir.
There it
Definitely.
is.
Yeah, so leading into that, what vocalist would you say sort of, because obviously that's what your bread and butter now, what
Hmm.
vocalist got you like into it and just said, "Hey, I want to do that. That's going to be me one day."
Interesting. That's a tough one. I'm not really sure
Or
when
maybe
it
it was an
was.
experience, maybe you went to a
I
show.
think it started out with like Green Day.
Okay.
Um, when I remember the first time I heard Basket Case on the radio, it was like in the car with my dad. And I know that Billy Joe isn't like necessarily known for being the most prolific vocalist in the world, but he was an awesome pop punk vocalist. So
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
that
yeah,
was when I got my
absolutely.
first taste of it. And um, nowhere near I didn't have the confidence to sing, but I could fantasize about it and imagine being in a rock band someday. So probably Green Day.
Green
Yeah, I
Day.
mean,
That's
well, he has
funny.
a distinct sound for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. As soon as he comes on the radio, you know exactly who it is.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. He's unmistakable.
Yeah. It's funny though, because a couple of bands that I had on here was like I Met a Yeti and I had
I love them.
John yeah, they're awesome.
So great.
I had Johnny from Lost Trees and
Johnny, my boy.
yeah, they all mentioned like they went on tour with you for a little bit and they're like, man, he just gave me some of the greatest tips.
Oh, that's so sweet. Damn. Well, that makes me really happy. I'm just glad to be a positive influence. So
Yeah, I know Johnny said that
shout out to them.
he still uses some of the tips that you gave him
Great.
on tour.
That means the world.
Mhm.
Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, man, no problem. But so it's weird because Billy Joel, like you said, I don't know if he could be in any other band, and you would know exactly who it is every time. And like I mentioned at
Yeah.
the beginning, you have such a range. When you are approached by a band, is that something you're trying to do is sound different from your previous band, or is it just kind of happen?
It just happens because I have pushed myself out of my comfort zone so much doing like I got my start in the music scene by doing YouTube covers of
Mhm.
lots of different bands. And every time I would do one, it sort of taught me a new lesson, a new trick that I could add to my skill set. So I did that so much that I started to my goal was just anytime I heard like a noise or a note or a sound that I couldn't do, I wanted to learn how to do it. So that way I could use it um
Yeah,
in my own work. So I did that so much that I think I just got I racked up a big tool belt of stuff and then I could apply it to whatever I was doing. So I'm definitely doing whatever project I'm in, I'm doing it in my own way, but I prepped for it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't know if it was necessarily like something that where my end goal was to be able to be in any band and do, any style of vocal. I was just having fun and I was hungry and ambitious for knowledge and it was just something cool that I could challenge myself with. So when the time came and the opportunity arose, I was ready.
yeah. Another thing that heard on the interview was you were comfortable singing with Rock Band. That's kind of how you got your
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh man, I
you
love
said
rock.
I think you said something on the interview about how you want to know how many kids got their start. Well,
Yes, I
this is
do.
absolutely the podcast for that because I would say I think I've done 52 of these interviews, and out of 52, I think probably 80% of them has mentioned Guitar Hero or Rock Band as
Yep.
what got them into
Unbelievably
music.
influential. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Wow.
and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Of
soundtracks.
course. Of
Yeah,
course. Tony Hawk and Guitar Hero shaped so many of us
Yeah.
millennials
And
music
yeah.
I can't
tastes.
let you by without telling me what rock band song was your favorite to sing because I always ask.
It was I think this was Rock Band. They had no, this might have been Guitar Hero. I was gonna say Atreyu X's and O's, but
Okay.
I don't remember which one that on. I might have just been singing it. Oh, they had Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. That one was a
Oh
blast.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun one.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I love that one. So good.
yeah. Adam just actually got into them.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
a
you
little
know what?
late to the game.
I was kind of late too. I'd never really been like a huge Coheed buff. And then one of my good friends, DJ, he was like, dude, you gotta explore the discography. And he made me a playlist last year that
Hmm.
now I've really dove into their discography and
Oh
they're
yeah,
Yeah,
they're fucking sick, dude.
they're
Adam.
awesome. I've
Adam
seen him
went.
twice now in like a year. Like
Oh man,
it's
I want to see him
it's
so
an
bad.
it's an incredible show. I'm sure you will. You
Yeah.
will probably
Yeah,
cross paths.
Adam said he sounds like even better live than what he does on
Yeah.
on
Hmm.
track.
Probably like so live and organic and just
Hmm.
like they're definitely not a band with like a synthetic character. Like everything they do sounds really malleable and raw and real. So I
Hmm.
can
Yeah,
only imagine that translates to their live performance.
For sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
You're obviously in every band on the face of the earth now, and I think
What have I
obviously you
done?
probably and you've I think maybe Wander might be the longest one
Mhm.
that's kind of
Yes,
still going on, right?
definitely.
I mean,
That's right.
what do we got? Like 8 or 9 years on that, maybe?
Yeah,
You've
dude.
been working on
Thanks
that?
for mentioning Wander. That means a
Yeah,
lot to
no,
me.
absolutely. I like knowing, like, I like seeing where the growth and the progression, right? And
Mhm.
obviously the work you do there, you all do there is wonderful.
Thank you.
But look at you now, right? You're like traveling the globe. You are on all of these wonderful bands. Did you picture yourself being in this position, 8 or 9 years ago? It's a two-parter.
Right. Well, that's really kind. I appreciate the nice words about my music, man. For real, means a lot to me.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I fantasized about it.
Right.
I didn't ever know if this was going to be my reality, and um I wanted that lifestyle. I think I was really, really wrapped up in like the scene around like 2008 to 2012, like when there was Warped Tour and all these
Yep.
medical bands were emerging. I wanted to be up there doing that shit just like them. And um yeah, I mean, the circumstances that led me to here, I couldn't have expected or predicted, but I always wanted to be up on that stage. So
Hmm.
I'm really grateful. I think my 16-year-old self is extremely stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you have told your 16-year-old self if you could go back?
Um, choose a different career. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, man. I think God, that's hard. I don't know. Probably don't doubt yourself so much, and
Mhm.
don't be afraid to put yourself out there, even if you think you suck, because you need to suck first as a stepping stone in order to become better. And I think I was really afraid of doing that for a long time. And
Mhm.
if I had decided to get into singing earlier, even earlier than 16, because I didn't really start singing, like I said, until like rock band and shit when I was like 15. But I would have loved to had done choir and stuff like that earlier on,
Right.
and maybe I'd have had an earlier start. And so, but I was just not ready to pull myself out of my comfort zone. And I think I always had it in me, but I was afraid. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
being able to do it while being afraid anyway that's how I've gotten by.
Yeah.
yeah, been a recurring theme on a couple of our podcasts, sort of uh what we've discussed as being like self-doubt, whether you're trying to, be a musician or start a podcast or a YouTube channel. Self-doubt is tough, man. It can
Yeah,
really hold you back.
it is tough. And honestly, man, if I were to have given myself that advice, it wouldn't have helped at all. Because people tell me all the
No.
time, people say all the time, don't doubt yourself. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
something you can just turn on and off. So
It's not.
I don't know. Like, I'd probably have to sit down for a week and think about what would be the absolute best advice to give my
Hmm.
past self. Luckily, I don't need to do that. This isn't Back to the Future 2, and I have no
Right.
sports almanac
Yeah,
to give
that's
myself.
good.
So yeah,
Yeah, man. Win the lottery. Here you go.
right. Yeah.
Banking off of Adam's question here, it's funny because normally when we do these, the group, we either have a group or whatever, and it's one band that we have to listen to. And I put their discography all in like release date order. So from
Mhm.
oldest to newest release date. And
Sorry about that. You probably had a
oh
hard
my,
time.
oh, it was so
I'm so
hard.
sorry,
And
dude.
I haven't finished it yet.
it's funny because
I'm just kidding.
I started with Wander. I didn't do your solo stuff yet. And by the time I got to the last thing you released, which I believe is The Web of Lies with Joshua Travis.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so there was 5.5 hours worth of music,
Oh man,
and that's
that
not
is
even including any of
unreal.
your solo stuff.
I've never thought about that before. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I don't know what to say. Like, it means a lot that you would take the time to listen. And
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry for the incredibly long and tedious uh
It
list that you probably had to go through.
Oh, it's cool, man. I enjoyed it. It was a very it's a very cool discography because it's not just one style of music. There's I guess Wander you would classify as more of like a pop punk
Yes, of course.
type. And then you have like an ambient like with Makari, the ambient
Hmm.
progressive type. And then of course you have your I don't even know what you would classify monuments. I guess like progressive
Prog metal.
metal. Yeah,
Yeah,
prog
prog metal
metal.
gent.
Yeah, and so with all the different styles, because it would go from like Wander to Makari to I think Termina is one of
Termina,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was all over the place. It was not boring at all to listen to. So
Thanks, man.
every song had something different, and it was really cool to see the growth because I don't know, man. My wife actually likes Makari too. I introduced her a couple years ago, and she wanted me to tell you that Makari sounds like it could definitely be used in anime themes.
Hell yeah. Oh, what a good
Yeah,
compliment, dude.
yeah,
I'm a huge anime guy, so
yeah.
shout out
I
to
think
Mrs.
y'all
August.
share the same favorite anime as well. So
Yu Yu Hakusho.
yes, sir.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
good taste. You really struck gold with
I
that one.
did, I did.
Congratulations. You picked
Which,
a winner.
hey, we were actually asked that. We haven't released that episode yet, but I have an episode coming out where we were asked what our favorite anime is, and I completely dropped the ball, and I completely like Yu Yu Hakusho completely slipped my mind. But that absolutely hands down is probably one of the best.
Yeah, it was formative for me. Like
Yeah,
Yusuke and Kuwabara and Hiei, like they just, I mean, they shaped my character in Karama. How could I forget?
yeah,
But they shaped my childhood. I would come home after baseball practice and just watch Toonami, and oh
Hmm.
man, those were the days.
Were
yeah,
they not?
yep, yep.
Those were the days.
But yeah,
So go ahead, Augie.
oh no, that was all I had, man, for right
Oh,
now. You
okay.
go ahead.
So again, just going off of what Augie mentioned about the playlist, the spectrum of the work that you've done is so broad. There are other musicians that are in one band and they're in that one band for 30 years. And
Hmm.
sure, they may be able to change drastically, like their sound, but you're able to do, over time, but you're able to do, three, four different types of things within a year, within months. What is that like to be able to sort of quell the melodic side and the as well as a hardcore kid inside of you?
I think, well, from like a vocal standpoint, whether it's singing or screaming and all the different types, it all goes back to the same fundamentals of practicing healthy vocal technique. So I can attack it in a similar way just by understanding proper habits, and it sort of lets me, how can I say this, like cast a standardized net over all the different genres. I can think about it as coming from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But from a taste standpoint, I don't know. I just always had a really eclectic music taste growing up. Not that eclectic, but I like the melodic
Yeah.
stuff, the pop punk. I like the heaviest of the heavy. I like the ambience of a lot more chill music. And yeah, I don't like saying no to cool opportunities. So when I'd meet a talented artist that was doing a certain genre I'd like, and I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then, someone else from a totally different genre.
Mhm.
And I think it keeps it fresh, and
Yeah.
it keeps me from getting bored because I can always, if I'm feeling angry or like a fucking supervillain, I can write some crazy Termina
Hmm.
like heavy ass shit. But if I'm feeling
Absolutely.
you know, like heartbroken or whatever,
Dreamy.
love lust or yeah, etc. Dreamy. Anyway, whatever it is, I can apply the spectrum of my emotions to different genres, and
Right.
it all feels fulfilling, and I'm lucky to have multiple outlets
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for that, for
I
my
do want to
multiple
say that
personalities.
you have some very, very amazing musicians behind you as well. So,
Oh
I
I
mean,
yeah.
do,
you're
man.
not
I
like the
really
whole
do.
show. Your voice is
Of course
absolutely
not.
phenomenal, yes, but the musicianship is just out of this world too. Like,
Yeah.
good night,
Well, it
man.
always starts with the music. It always starts with the instrumental. I
Hmm.
rarely write from like, all right, here's the vocal line, now write the song around it.
Yeah,
I react to what my friends, my co-musicians bring to the table, and how it makes me feel. So,
yeah,
of course, like that, I couldn't do this without them.
yeah. They're absolutely phenomenal. Especially just I know Nick Nocturnal for Termina, and I know you've done a few songs with Josh. Josh Travis, we actually Adam got to buy him a beer one time.
Nice.
I did. I
Yeah, we
did.
saw what was that band, Adam?
Glass Cloud.
Glass
Glass
Cloud, yeah.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
love
saw
them.
Glass Cloud and he was at the bar and Adam was like, "Man, let me buy you a beer."
Nice.
Had to shoot my shot, you know?
Dude,
Yeah.
he's the best, man.
Yeah.
Joshua is built different, and
Yeah.
he does something
Absolutely.
in metal guitar that I can't figure out, and no one
Mhm.
else can either. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
We've been following him for a long time. It's from
Yep.
Tony
Yeah.
Danza all the way up, and he's just
Dude, I know, man.
phenomenal.
Did you know that he was actually the first singer for Monuments?
I learned that.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
learned
I've
that.
never
It blew
heard
my mind.
him sing, but I do know that he.
Yeah,
he's
I
a-
wouldn't really picture him much as like I would. He's
apparently he's
more,
incredible. That's what I've been told, but I've not. Every time I ask him, he's like, "Nah, dude, come on." I'm
He's
like,
humble.
"What,
He's
bro?"
humble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
I don't know if you've heard. We heard this on the podcast. I don't know how true it is. Maybe you can ask Josh. I know Josh wasn't necessarily in Tony Danza at like the beginning.
Hmm.
Somebody told me like something happened where like the guitarist picked the lead vocalist up by the neck or something, and that's how he became the lead I don't know. It was like some weird story.
Oh my god,
And I
that
don't know
wouldn't
if
surprise
that's
me at
true or
all.
not.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
That's a great. Yeah, I want to confirm that because I need to know.
Yeah, I don't remember like the full ends of the story or whatever, but yeah, it was some crazy like that.
It often is, man. I wouldn't put it past him. I'll give you an update on that next time I
Yes,
talk
please
to him.
do. Please do.
Sweet.
Let us know the full story.
Oh, I will.
How's everybody doing? That was good. You like that? How do we do it?
You like that?
All right.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
So everybody always asks us, where do we find these playlists that we make on this show? And we find them on, you can just follow us on Spotify at VIP LAYLIST. And I'll also leave links on all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find all the playlists there as well. I have a link tree, and that ad is VIP LAYLIST POD, all one word. And that's where you find these things at. So
Yep. So no more complaining.
yeah,
And
I told you. You
go
don't
find
listen.
them.
It's on you.
Go find them. Go listen to them. Give us feedback, please.
Yeah. Leave us a review
Yeah.
because we love you. And that would be the coolest thing ever.
Subscribe, follow.
Subscribe and follow. I feel like that's a YouTube thing, but no, do it either anyway.
Yeah.
If you can't find the button, I don't know. You're not
DM
trying
me.
hard enough.
DM me.
Yeah. Leave us a review. That'd be really cool. And then go follow us on our socials and on Spotify to keep up with the playlist.
Thank you.
So let's get back to the music side of things here. So going with the different genres of like pop punk. I know you said Green Day and stuff like that, but let's kind of work our way through. I'm assuming pop punk since Wander, that was like your first love when
Yeah.
it comes to music.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll get maybe some metalcore stuff like that on here as well. So let's start with some pop punk.
Yeah, I think it was like A Day to Remember, 4 Years Strong. You know,
Yeah.
that was when I was really into like it was more modern pop punk. You know, I
Yeah.
listened to a lot of Green Day and Blink and stuff like that, but then there was a gap in my pop punk tastes because I started listening to like Breaking Benjamin, MCR,
Yeah.
30 Seconds to Mars and shit. But then I was brought back into pop punk because it started overlapping with metalcore. You know what I mean? Like you had the
Mhm.
Devil Wears Prada touring with A Day to Remember, and I was like, oh shit, pop punk, yeah, all right, let's jump back into this. And so I started listening to that stuff again and Set Your Goals, where it was pop punk with like a core edge to
Easy
it.
core. Yeah.
Yeah, easy
Yeah.
core, man. I was actually like in a couple easy core bands like in high school, like before Wander, building up to it. So that's where I got my foundation, and I was able to embarrass myself plenty before.
Yeah, I tried to look up Littlefoot, but I didn't look too hard because
Oh boy,
work has been
yeah,
kicking
yeah,
my ass. But
there was Littlefoot, and then I was in this project called Go Home Freshman, and we were like we were just an embarrassing easy core with like I played like a little micro chord and sang, just kind of copying off of what 4 Year Strong was doing at the time. But it was a lot of fun, man. And we were doing like crabcore on stage.
Oh shit.
It was fucking hilarious. I actually had like a key on that keyboard that just did 808 like bass drops for the breakdown. So I was like,
That's awesome.
This is my finger. It was so fun. Yeah. And then I guess it was like Transit and Fireworks, if you remember them, and it's the Source of Far. So it was like the post easy core
Yeah.
era coming in, and that's when Wander started doing our thing.
Let's get a couple of these on here, and then we'll move to like
Mhm.
heavier stuff. So you said A Day to Remember, 4 Year Strong.
I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of? That's the name of the song.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got into them a little late too. I was a little older when they came out, I think, but I mean, I kind of jammed them a little later in life.
Yeah, they had that album For Those Who Have Heart. That's what got me into them, and it had that Kelly Clarkson cover on it, which I thought was awesome. And then they put out Homesick, which changed the game for everyone.
Yeah, 4 Year Strong.
Let's see. Probably got to go with a Bada Bing with a pipe. That's what that. All these goofy ass 2010s names.
Wasn't it the
man.
best?
Great times. The longest titles. The Devil Wears Prada was a fucking.
Oh
yes.
Like,
oh, good lord.
But yeah,
I remember,
Bada Bing with a pipe.
The Chariot, their first EP. He was making fun of song titles and shit like that, and it was like the worst. Like trying to remember those.
Oh man. Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah. Then he said, I don't know if you want to throw a My Chem song on here or not.
Oh, of course, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with I'm Not Okay. That song literally changed my fucking life, dude. MCR saved my life. No, but they impacted me.
That's awesome.
We'll have to throw Breaking Benjamin on there.
Yeah,
too.
that was my next one.
Yeah, because they were huge for me. Let's go with The Diary of Jane. How could I not?
Yeah, that's the one that always played on our shitty little rock.
I mean,
station.
I loved them. Don't get me wrong. Like, I listened to so much Breaking Benjamin, but that is such a well-written song.
Set Your Goals. That's the one. Didn't they have? I can't ever remember because there's another like Your Goals type band, I think, and they had Haley Williams on one of their songs. Was that?
That was Set
that
Your
song
Goals.
is so fucking sick, man.
That was from This Will Be the Death of Us, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, she comes in hot on that fucking song, man. Just ripping it up.
Yeah. Before that, they had an album called Mutiny, which was like a lot more DIY sounding, but it was really sick. So Mutiny was a cool album and cool song. That's the title track.
You want to just throw Mutiny on there?
Yeah. You can throw that one on.
The last three, I don't know if you want to throw all three or just pick one. So Transient, Fireworks, or The Story So Far.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Fireworks. What was that one song? I might have to look at. I'm being a poser right now, but
you're good.
Oh yeah, it was called Detroit, off their album All I Have to Offer Is My Own
Gotcha.
Confusion. Yeah, and then what was the other one? The Story So Far.
Yeah.
Mount Diablo. That was the first song I ever heard by them, and it was off their split EP with this band called Maker. Before their first album, and that when I heard that, I was like, this is the new standard for pop punk.
Yeah, they're so fucking good, man. I enjoy them.
And then that's when I started getting into metal. Like, well, it was like alongside pop punk, but metal definitely took over.
Yeah.
I was a huge Atreyu fan. Avenged Sevenfold, System of a Down, The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it kept moving along at Under Oath as the times were changing.
Man, that was my shit, dude. Because they came out they came out like 98, but I didn't discover them until like 2002, I think, 2003, somewhere around there. So they're only Tasting Safety.
Exactly.
And
that was my introduction.
Yeah, that was more like that was very like on the pop punk easycore side, I think, because it was very poppy with some screams in it. Then when they released Define the Great Line, that shit right there was dark and heavy and just fucking amazing.
Chaos.
Yes.
Just noise and angst and
that was my
feedback.
shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. Same here, man. And the one after that too, Lost in the Sound of Separation, is even more in that world of, of chaos. Yeah, it's so awesome.
Let's go with it. Well, we got an Atreyu song on here, but I absolutely love them. I remember his voice was just so insane, man.
Yeah, dude. that was like one of my first introductions to having scream vocals be like the main vocal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they had their drummer who sang, which inevitably like that would take over their sound. They sort of stopped screaming. But yeah, those albums, A Death Grip, On Yesterday, and The Curse.
Yeah.
I love those albums.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go with Avenge, man. Avenge Sevenfold.
Avenge fucking Sevenfold, dude. Yeah. City of Evil, obviously, was my. I mean, not obviously, but most likely, it's a lot of people's intro to them.
Yeah.
Especially my age. So, Beast and the Harlot, that was the first song I ever heard by Avenged. That opened my world to them. And then that self-titled album came out, and holy shit! I mean, that
was
album
so
is
good. Yeah.
still today is so good.
Yeah. That was like my introduction to like other than like I used to listen to a lot of like metal. Like the guitars made no sense in the shit that I listened to. It was just
Sure.
noise. So
Yeah.
like the Chariot and all that shit. But Avenged Sevenfold, that was like my intro to like actual soloing and like shredding.
virtuoso
Yeah,
shredding.
yeah. Let's go with the legends, man. System of a Down.
Oh boy, System of a Down, man. I'm trying to think of what might have been the first. 'Cause the first song I probably heard was BYOB,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or maybe it was Chop Suey. But I think this is gonna be weird. But one of my favorite songs from them is called "Lonely Day,"
Yeah.
It's
and
a
it was actually
great
one of their later
song.
songs. But Darren takes the lead, so not Serge,
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
vocal, but Darren takes the lead on that one. And yeah, I love how moody and different that one was compared
It's
to the rest of the
crazy.
songs.
So normally when we get to like the bigger name bands, so like Under Oath and all those things, people normally tend to put like the same songs on there. Like
Yeah.
with System of a Down, everybody who mentioned System of a Down, I'm pretty sure they put different songs.
Oh,
Like,
we've gotten everything.
we've gotten
Great
from
so
sign.
many different songs.
There's
Yeah.
just so many amazing ones, and they're also
really is.
weird and special. And
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
They all
Hell
just
yeah.
resonate with you differently.
Yeah.
And that's really awesome. Catch them at Sick New World, by the way. next
Yeah,
year.
yeah. Adam,
I'll be there.
I'm definitely jealous of Adam. He's going
I'm
to
not gonna be able to make it, but
Yeah.
I wish I could. I really wish I could.
Next on the list is Devil Wears Prada.
Let's go.
That was one of our
Texas
favorites.
is South.
Yes.
The first song I heard by them on
Oh
MySpace.
God, that's so
And
good.
dude, I just remember being like, like clicking onto the page and it's
Yes.
and I'm like,
oh God,
what
yeah.
is this? This is weird. I don't know if I like it, but I do like it. And like I found myself coming back to it again and again. I went to this, there was like a dude who I didn't like in high school. And that was his MySpace page song. So I would like go to his page just to hear that song. I was like, I hate this fucking dude, but I love this song. And yeah, man, that shit, as raw and undeveloped as it was as a metalcore song, it definitely brought me into the world.
That first album, I actually saw, it was 2007, and it was at like this janky ass venue in New Orleans.
Oh, those were the best.
Yeah, Devil Wears Prada was the headliner. They were touring for Dear Love of Beautiful Discord, that album they just released. And Dance Gavin Dance with Johnny Craig opened up for them.
Oh man.
And that was my introduction to DGD with Johnny Craig. And holy shit, dude, that was
yeah.
I was just like awestruck in the crowd. Like I couldn't even
that's
fucking
funny,
move,
man. I have a
dude.
similar story. That's like really close to my intro with Johnny Craig, except it was on the Devil Wears Prada Sweet Brag tour.
Yeah.
With A Day to Remember and Emarosa and Sky's Airplane. And when I walked in, Emarosa was playing. I'd never seen them or heard of them before. But Johnny was up there like,
yeah.
and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
who is this dude? He's insane. And then I went down this is a perfect segue to my post-hardcore rabbit hole with Emarosa and then Dance Gavin Dance. Dance Gavin Dance was hugely influential on me. After my Devil Wears Prada era, where that was my favorite band, it became Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like the Johnny Craig days and the Kurt Travis days. Like those were fucking so formative for me.
Yeah, that sounds basically like how it went for us. We were huge Devil Wears Prada. And
so after that show, I bought Adam. It was a CD, I think, or did I buy you a shirt? I don't remember.
Bought me a shirt. It was a I'm olive skinned, and this was a like like Easter yellow,
Yeah.
Back to the
Back to the
Future
Future shirt, yeah.
t-shirt. Yeah.
Yes,
And
only the best from the scene.
yeah,
All those
exactly.
Only the
crazy
best.
neon, the monsters, and the fucking giant text.
with the graphic that goes from like the very top of the shirt to the very bottom. Can't get any
Yeah.
bigger.
Of course, aliens and
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
After that, I think I was like 17 and I bought the album there too. And me and Adam, we probably listened to that thing 1,000 times in my truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
nuts. And then
Yeah, man.
Kurt Travis, that's by far one of my favorite eras. Like,
I love Kurt Travis,
God,
dude.
man, that was
Seriously,
just,
I
yeah.
love Kurt Travis. Like I've been listening to him, for ages and ages, and then even after Dance Gavin Dance, a lot like Birds. if you
Love them.
remember.
Yes. Oh,
Royal
man.
Coda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
them.
Royal Code, etc. And I've done a few tours with Kurt. Luckily, Makari has gone out with him, and
Yeah.
he's such a great guy.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
and-
ask
and
about
a
that.
badass. And yeah, man, I learned so much listening to Kurt. I learned so much about increasing vocal range just by trying to study and mimic what he was doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. His voice was just, I'll be honest, when I first heard it, I didn't like it. And I guess maybe I got spoiled to like the whole Johnny thing where it was like a R&B vocal in post-hardcore.
No, that was very special, and no
Yeah.
one could do it like he could. But
Yeah.
Kurt brought something different. I heard DGD with Kurt before I heard it with Johnny. I went back through their discography, but when I got into them, this was like right when Happiness was
Yeah.
about to come out. So I heard Carl Barker, and it was game over, man.
Yeah.
Like that is the song. That
It's
might be
great.
my favorite song of all time.
Oh,
We can throw
that's
that
awesome.
one on there then.
Yeah,
No,
that's
put it
gotta be
on
the
there.
one. Yeah.
Put it on there.
Yeah.
Dude.
But I went back and listened after a couple of years, and it's just, I don't know if maybe I was just young and didn't understand. I don't know, but he is by far one of my favorite vocalists of all
Yep.
time. Like, he is
Very
just
special.
so
Yes.
good.
Great lyrics too. Great
Oh
lyrics.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to throw something from Imarosa on there?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I hate to be generic, but the past would stay dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because once you hear that tailored sheets, there's no going back.
Oh,
You're hooked for
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
So
and
much power.
I loved it. I actually think the album after that one, the self-titled, is probably a better album, more well-rounded songs, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's some moments on Relativity that are just
I remember
like hair raising.
he was doing some kind of like promotion for the past, like that album.
Mhm.
And he was doing that song. No, it wasn't that album. It was A Toast to Future Kids.
Right.
He
The
did that
self-titled one,
acoustic,
yeah.
Yep.
and man, the raw power from that dude's voice is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
I learned so much from mimicking and watching him as well.
Yeah.
It was like him and Kurt were two sides of the same coin, but two very different sides. And
Right.
Yeah.
and having the privilege of observing both, it taught me a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And let's get into some heavier stuff now that we got the post-hardcore.
yeah.
So the stuff you do with like Monuments and Termina is way heavier than
Sure.
than
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, I definitely like went further into the metal rabbit hole. I started getting really into progressive tech and also deathcore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the Acacia Strain got super into them
Oh yeah.
for a
they're
while.
great.
That I guess that's on the deathcore side. But yeah, it was Skynet was the first one I heard from
Oh
Skynet.
yeah.
Yeah, that riff, I was just like, what the fuck? Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then Whitechapel started creeping into my life. With that album, New Era of Corruption.
Yeah.
That was my intro to Phil Bozeman, who, like, I learned so much about screaming listening to Phil. He was
Yeah.
the guy. He was the number one core vocalist.
Yep. We've heard that
so-
on this podcast a few times. He said he
Oh,
was
for sure.
whenever Phil Bozeman came out, there was nobody else doing it like he was doing it.
Yeah. So for that band, I would say like Breeding Violence, probably, or Murder Sermon, which had Vincent from the Acacia Strain on it. So it was just double legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my deathcore. You know, I got in a lot of different deathcore bands. I was in a Job for a Cowboy as well. I love
Oh God.
The
Oh
Doom Key,
yeah.
Talk about the
Entombment of a
MySpace
Machine.
era.
Yeah, dude, they were the epitome of MySpace deathcore, which I don't
Yes.
think is a bad thing at all.
No, not at
No, it's
all.
not.
Yeah, but great album, Entombment of a Machine, Knee Deep. But yeah, deathcore days, and then there was prog metal. So Periphery. I mean,
Yeah.
like I can't I can't tell you enough how much Periphery influenced me, and I was my mouth was hanging open when I first heard them, man. I remember I was in the van going to like a Littlefoot show, right?
Hmm.
When I was doing pop punk. And I heard I don't know if it was Icarus Lives or it might have been like another song from that album, like Total Mad. But it was the grooviest metal I'd ever fucking heard. And that those new age axe effects guitar tones and the crisp superior drummer drums, like, oh my god, man,
Yeah.
insane. Like even today that album holds up so well. It's
Hmm.
still so awesome. So Periphery was my in to the prog metal scene, which a lot of people could say is kind of late because
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of great prog bands.
We actually talked to Aviations, and I know y'all just
Oh,
took
I love
Werner.
Aviations.
I
Oh,
know y'all
I
just took
love them so
Werner,
much.
right?
Yes. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they mentioned this was before y'all went on tour, and he was like, our bassist is going on tour with Monuments, and I was like, that's badass, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
man. Werner's the best. Shout out to
yeah.
Werner. He's so cool. But yeah, man. I mean, it was Periphery. It was Born of Osiris. That song Abstract Art off of The New Rain, that first
Yeah.
EP they did. Yeah, that was another what the fuck moment. Like, how can you make music like this?
We did a standalone episode last week. I think I dropped it last week, and I asked Adam to kind of give me some music to listen to. One of the artists he put on there was Lee McKinney, the
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
guitarist for
the
Born of
guitar player.
Osiris.
Yeah, he's
His
great.
solo shit is absolutely insane.
Yeah, dude, he's like the arpeggio sweep king.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of really cool arpeggiated solos that I think that's like, what I like most about his guitar playing and his signature style.
yeah.
Shout out to Boo.
Yeah. So my brother's a massive fan of yours, and he told me to ask when, or perhaps when we could expect some new Makari.
Well, I am going into the studio in January next month,
Okay.
about a month from now to finish the album. All the instrumentals are done, and it's just been a matter of trying to find time where I'm available and our producer is
Hmm.
available. So we lined it up. As soon as that gets smashed out, it'll be mixed fairly quickly. I am hoping it'll be around March when you'll start to see some new Makari
Okay.
tunes.
Oh
I
yeah,
will
that's
I will
awesome.
report back.
Yeah. What's your brother's name?
His name is Lucky. That's his
Lucky
nickname.
Rodriguez. I
Yeah.
fucking love you, dude.
Oh, dude, he's gonna love that, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you're
Yeah.
badass. Yeah, man.
Speaking of being in all these bands and with all of the new abilities to record, I guess, like remotely, does that, I mean, that's got to help you, right? Just
Yeah, I wouldn't have a job if I couldn't do that
yeah.
because well, I actually went to trade school for audio engineering back
Uh-huh.
in 2012, and from there I learned like everything else from the internet, and that was my plan to get myself out into the industry and find some bands to work with, was like learn it myself and be able to demonstrate value on the internet,
Mhm.
with vocals, self-producing and being able to send that digitally to people. And then that skill set carried me for the rest of, up until now, being able to make music like that with Termina. I recorded all by myself here at my own home studio. Same with Monuments, at self-edit and send it all the way overseas.
Yeah.
And that if I couldn't do that, I don't know if we could afford to even make music because of how crazy expensive it would be to fly me out and then all of us stay at a studio for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's definitely a necessity for me to be able to do remote recording.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the way it's headed though, especially after COVID pandemic and all that stuff. I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of bands are moving that way now with at least one person in the band knowing how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I think if you are in a band and nobody in your band knows how to do it, you're not gonna you're not gonna break through
Yeah.
because it's everyone's doing it. Everyone's and it's so accessible too. So many
Mhm.
great tutorials and resources out there to learn. So really, you just need time and dedication.
Yeah. So what are, I know you said Spirit Box, but what are some of like your current favorite bands?
Um, let's see. Man, that's tough because like I feel like I'm kind of stuck in 2010 sometimes.
Same.
It's hard for me to like find a lot of newer stuff to
Yeah.
listen to. I really like what Polyphia is doing right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're doing something really unique and special. Loathe, I think, is dope. That album, I Let It In and It Took Everything, is really sick. And I think it's also very influential now. A lot of people are going for that sound, which is like the post Deftones metal
Yeah.
sound. Volumes, still really into Volumes. I love their most recent album, Happier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, there's some underrated ones like this band called Dwellings. Not
Oh
sure you
yeah.
might have heard of them. Yeah, I
Yes.
fucking love Dwellings, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait for them to put something new out because
I know, please.
I think they're
Yes.
one of the most special post-hardcore bands around. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
his voice
shout out.
is
Yeah,
just
I mention them all the
crazy.
time. Yeah, dude, his voice, the guitar licks, like the song writing, the lyrics,
Yeah.
it's all even the production too. It's great. It
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
fucking
is.
really scratches an itch for me.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get you want to throw a Spirit Box song?
Yeah, uh, probably Rule of Nines was the first one I heard, and that one drew me into them. So we'll go with the Rule of Nines.
Rule of Nines and then Polyphia?
Let's do just because I want to mix it up. Their newer stuff. ABC is a song they
Yeah.
have featuring Sophia Black, which is awesome, man. I love it. It's like
It is
very
so
weeb,
good, yeah.
but it's so cool, man. I love that song. Yeah, that song rules.
Loathe?
Two-way mirror. It's got to be two-way mirror.
Two-way mirror.
Yeah, that's the one that everyone loves, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
You know
pretend to be
what?
avant-garde. I love that song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Volumes?
Um, 91367, which is off of their album No Sleep. Uh, the most underrated, best progressive gent album of all time. No Sleep.
We saw a few of their songs live and they were fucking insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, they're
love them.
great.
They've always brought like a party hype element
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
progressive metal, where it's like it's not all just neckbeards doing like algorithms and fucking like time signatures. It's like you can have fun. So
And
yeah,
then
volumes.
the last one, Dwellings.
See it through.
See it through.
Yeah, gotta be see it through.
Yeah, that one's great.
That song is perfect. It's god damn it, it's so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love man, you guys are I'm having fun. I love thinking about this.
Okay, man,
Wonderful,
that's awesome.
wonderful.
That's what we like to hear,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for the trips down
Yeah.
memory lane.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I want to bring, I follow you on Twitter, and I know I've seen you talk about it a lot. I'm not sure how much you were willing to divulge into the situation or whatever, but I
Sure.
know you struggle with like a sleep disorder as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's crazy because I have narcolepsy. So on the opposite
I'm
side
so
of you,
sorry.
oh, it's something I've been dealing with my whole life, So like you just kind of get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I take medication for it and everything. But I've had it for so long, I don't even know if the medication is working anymore. So
Dude, I relate to that too, man. Like
yeah,
with my depression and anxiety and stuff, I just kind of I take what I've been taking for years, and I hope it takes the edge off, but I don't really know
yeah,
how much it's working.
yeah. I noticed like when I stop taking the medicine for a while, I get like sleepier and shit. Like I can barely stay awake. But if I
Mhm.
stop taking it for like a week or two, and then I start taking it, it feels brand new. But
Right.
that feeling doesn't last very
Of
long.
course
So
not. Yeah, as drugs do.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I struggle and everything as well with it. I thought it was just not really cool, but it's refreshing, I guess.
Solidarity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm so sorry that you struggle with that because I understand how life-wrecking sleep disorders can be and
Yeah.
are. I mean, sleep is something that you literally cannot go without, and every human needs it, and every human does it, and most people sleep without really having to think about it too much.
Yeah. Or stay awake without having to.
Right, right. Or stay awake. Right, right. Basically, that's how you function. And if you can't do that, then, and the thing is, like, since most people don't deal with it, they don't really understand how fucking awful it is and
Yeah.
how much harder it makes everything. And so you can be perceived as just being like lazy.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to explain the torture and pain that, like, it gets painful. You know what I mean? Not like being so tired that you can't fucking stay awake.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts and your brain doesn't work right. You can't think straight, and you just feel awful. You get that, like, that feeling in your legs. I don't know if it happens to you, but when I'm sleep deprived, like, my legs start like cramping up, and like I just feel like fucking mush.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with narcolepsy, there's narcolepsy with cataplexy and narcolepsy without. I have narcolepsy without cataplexy, but I have experienced cataplexy before. So in my younger days, it's basically where your muscles just literally give out. Like, it happens to, like, when you feel like any kind of burst of emotion, like happiness,
Oh wow,
sadness, whatever,
yes,
your
yes.
legs will just fall out from under you. It's insane.
Do you so your muscles give out? Are you still conscious when that happens, or do you just go out like a light?
So I've experienced it. When I've experienced it, I was actually like at my job. I was like like using an air grinder, and my legs just quit, and I'm pretty sure I went unconscious. And when I opened my eyes, I was like 2 inches from busting my face on the table, and
Jesus.
I barely caught myself. But
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
So
Yeah.
you open your eyes like mid falling over.
Yeah. It was.
Wow.
Damn. Well, that, although we both have sleep disorders, like, that is such a different world and experience, but equally, well, I don't know if it's equal, but sufficiently life ruining nonetheless.
Yeah.
That sounds straight up scary, man.
Yeah. It's it's funny because the whole time leading up to this interview, I was thinking about this, and I was like, how, like, maybe for just 1 week, how awesome it would be just to like stay awake when I wanted to, like, have your thing and you have mine for like. But then I was like,
dude.
like, it would eventually get pretty shit, just like it is now. So
Ideally, though, maybe if we could just trade for like a couple days at a time, that would be all right. It would still suck, but it's like, at least you're going from like too little to too much, and whatever. We're fine.
Yeah, for sure. But no, man, I feel you though, and it's the lazy thing on for sure. I didn't catch it. So I actually went and got diagnosed when I was 21. So like my whole, I remember when it started, I was in like the 8th grade, and I just could not for the life of me stay awake. And I remember being called lazy a lot and everything like that. And
and you don't know how to refute it because you don't know what the fuck's going on with you.
Yeah, you can't really tell somebody how it feels, because especially when it first starts happening, you have no idea. You're just, I don't know,
You're just like, maybe I am just like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just fucking do it?
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Thanks for asking about that, dude. I'm happy to chat about that. I think it helps to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, I don't know, just those are things that they're very rare disorders. Not a lot of people have them. So just seeing people talk about them maybe makes them normal, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I complain because I need to get it out. So, when you see me popping off on Twitter about, oh, fuck, my life fucking sucks, like, I can't fucking sleep, like, I can't say that I'm doing that to, like, for a noble reason to normalize it, but I'm just being selfish and, bitching about it. But I will say it does help to see other people talk about it and make, I guess, raise the awareness so you're not judged as harshly.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky, especially like with the Monuments guys, when we tour a lot, and they understand that I have this problem, so they'll cut me some slack and let me sleep in through load in when I need to. And if I didn't have an understanding support system, I'd be absolutely boned.
Yeah, for sure,
I'm
man.
I'm lucky to have good friends that understand.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it does help just to vent and get it off your chest. So that's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
judgment here whatsoever, man. I
Well,
think
thank you,
it's
dude.
yeah,
Like,
no.
you know, when people, whenever someone prefaces by saying I follow you on Twitter, I'm always like, oh God, like, is this gonna be like, what did I say that, because I'm often trying to tread that line between professionalism and being a real human
Yeah.
being, and I don't
Yeah.
always know where to draw the line. And sometimes when I'm feeling impulsive, I'll do that, and then eventually, like later on, I'll be like, oh, I'm fucking embarrassed and delete the tweet. But it is real, it's
Yeah.
who I am, and I I I appreciate that you understand and you don't judge me based on that.
No. It's very helpful just to get it off your chest sometimes, man.
Yeah,
That's all we need to do sometimes is just talk about it. So
hell yeah, man.
yeah. But Adam, you got anything else?
I'm good, man. I
Good.
think I've asked everything I needed
We
to.
covered lots of
Okay.
ground today, boys.
Yeah,
We
man.
did.
The one question we like to ask though is, if you use Spotify or Apple Music, can you give us the last song you were listening to?
Let me check. Let me open this up. What was the last song?
Don't lie.
I had it up. I
Yeah.
had it up. No, I had it up last night. Look at that. It was Polyphia. Bloodbath featuring Chino Marino.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, they got that Chino feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you know what's good about Polyphia is even though it's like really like extreme and technical and like crazy, it's still very accessible and it's like pop. So you can play it in
Yeah, yeah.
whatever situation and it's not going to be like, whoa, what's going on with the fucking screaming? And
Right.
so I was just hanging out with a friend and had the Polyphia album going.
Yeah. I'm not so normally, like I said, we usually only have like a guest with like one band, but and we throw two of their songs on this playlist. You have four bands.
Right. So let's do
So
dealer's choice, right?
yeah, you can just give us one song from each band and we'll throw all four of them on here. And I'll maybe do
Thanks.
like one in the beginning, one in the middle, and then one at the end,
All
and
right.
I'll throw that fourth one in there somewhere as well. So
I appreciate that, man.
yeah, man.
So I want to give a shout out to the Wander Boys, and we
Mhm.
recently put out a single called Hollow Days, which is like the newest thing we have, and I'm really proud of that song. It doesn't have like a lot of exposure, but I'm really proud of that one.
Yeah.
That one was about the pandemic. And then for Makari, I guess I would have to say our song Mend, which is off our most recent EP.
Yes.
And it's kind of like an emotional song about the passing of a loved one. And
Okay.
then let's go with Take Flight from Termina, which is one of our new singles off of our upcoming second LP.
Nice.
And then finally for Monuments, let's go with the song Opiate, which isn't a single, but my personal favorite on the album, In Stasis.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like I said, I'll just add these on there. And Adam, is there you want to do the closing like everything else? Like
Sure.
okay, go
So
ahead.
just drop your, all your projects like social media handles. I know we already talked about what Makari kind of has going on. You can speak about some of the other bands, maybe tours or music or just
Yeah, man.
whatever's coming up.
Sure, that'd be great. Monuments is embarking on a European tour. We're supporting the band Leprous, and that starts February 1st. Yeah, I can't wait, dude. They're so sick.
That's gonna be sick.
And we're going out with Calandra as well. And yeah, you can expect a couple new nuggets of tunes from Monuments. We're not doing like a full album yet, but we've got some surprises coming. And yeah, alongside of that, Makari and Termina will both be releasing new full-length albums in the first or second quarter of 2023.
Hell yeah.
And then Wander, we're not done, Everyone's busy, but we're casually working on stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for some day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Wander.
Wonderful.
God, I hate myself.
But yeah, man, dude, thank you so much. We've been a fan of yours for a really long time and
Yeah.
That means the world.
appreciate you.
Really.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, August and Adam, for having me on and listening to my music. I
man.
love you guys. It means a lot.
It was our
Love you
pleasure,
back.
dude. And thank you and you have a nice night, man.
Yep.
All right. Let's do this again sometime.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Take care, boys.
Later.
Yes. You too.